Hi folks, Canadian Prepper here. So I have some urgent information that I need to share with you guys today. I got a message today which I had to sit down after reading it, and I had to call this person and confirm if what I was reading was correct. This is how crazy this message that I got was. And I did get confirmation that it is in fact true. So please stick with me throughout this video. We have a lot of things to talk about today. One thing you need to know is that things are bad and they're going to get a lot worse. This war is only starting. The next thing you need to know is that everything you're being told about how this thing is progressing is mostly false. Okay, it's mostly grade A BS. No matter what side you're hearing it from, it's false. We're going to talk about that more in a minute and the reason why that's so important. But I got a message today from one of my main suppliers of personal protective equipment. Okay, and I know the person personally who runs the company. They've asked that I don't disclose the company. You could probably make an inference on the basis of, how many different companies for personal protective equipment do we work with if you wanted to go and do some investigating. But just trust me, take my word for it. My word's been pretty good so far if you have been watching the channel in the last couple months. And I can tell you that government contractors right now are scrambling to get safety gear as fast as they can. What do I mean by safety gear? I'm talking about gas masks. I'm talking about hazmat suits. I'm talking about radiation prevention pills. I'm talking about Geiger counters, dosimeters, stuff that you would need for a nuclear exchange. Okay, this company got an order for, I'm not going to say the exact amount, but it's in the tens of thousands, okay, of gas masks and various types of safety suits. This is not just an order like, hey, we need this order someday. No, this is we need this order in the next 48 hours. The same level of urgency that the Red Cross expressed to me when I talked with them a few weeks ago is the same level of urgency that is being required right now. Okay, and this stuff is going to Europe. It's not probably going to Europe. We know that it's going to Europe. So you have to ask yourself, why are they needing this stuff so fast? We've seen how things are escalating, okay? And one thing I want to say is that everything you're hearing in the media and even a lot of the alternative media, I have basically been living, breathing, sleeping this problem for the last month and a half. And I can tell you that even a lot of the independent media voices have no idea what they're talking about, or they're missing one piece of the story. So go back and watch my videos on this topic if you want a more comprehensive understanding. And I by no means am an expert, but I can tell you that half the stuff you're hearing on the legacy networks is just 100%. It's lies. It's deception. I don't know if they're doing it because maybe they actually believe it. I don't know. But it's important that you understand the severity of the situation. No, the Russians are not beat down and bogged down and demoralized. That's not the truth. In fact, I spoke with someone who is from Russia, and the opinion over there is entirely different. I thought it was that they were getting ready to revolt against Putin, and this person is telling me, no, it's the complete opposite of that for the majority of the population. There's a lot of stuff which is being put out right now to embolden and to increase the morale of the Ukrainians to fight for their country, which is something I firmly believe that they have the absolute right to do. I stand with anybody who is defending themselves from an invading force. But there, of course, is a backstory to that you cannot be ignorant to if you truly want to understand the situation. We've talked about that before. But you need to understand that, this is not... It's not going badly. It's not false planning. In the movies in Hollywood, how they always depict the bad guy or the terrorist guy as some kind of buffoon who, doesn't know how to, use a gun or blows himself up or just does something really dumb. That is exactly what's playing out right now in terms of our depiction of it, but that's not what's happening. Okay? They are sweeping through that country inch by inch. Sure, they're losing a few guys. I think they estimated the death toll at around 500 or something like that. That's the real death toll as opposed to the 7,000, these wild numbers that are being pumped out. And of course, these numbers are being pumped out because you want to boost the morale, but that creates a false perception of what is actually going on. And if people are basing their moves that, oh, everything is going well on the Eastern Front, from our perspective, it's not. Okay, there's a reason why the UN is pushing NATO to get involved. And I do ultimately think that we will get involved. This is too big. It's too big of a country. It's too substantial from a geopolitical standpoint. We are likely being pulled into a long war, and everybody is going to get involved. And the fact that I got this message today, where one of the biggest suppliers of safety products in the United States, in the world for that matter right now, is I'm fortunate enough to know the person personally on an individual level. And I can tell you guys that this is serious. They are buying up the stuff. Now, is this is not a cue for you to go and, drop a bunch of money on this stuff because, you can do that if you want to, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to just let you know that it's happening so you understand the severity of the problem. This is crazy. It's terrifying what's happening right now. All right, so this is a message I got from somebody who's a reserve officer in Austria. The Swedish Air Force announced that they forcefully stopped 2 Russian fighter jets, an Su-24 and an Su-27, which were entering their airspace and overflying civilian and military infrastructure. This is the official version. I have a source in the Swedish military, and he informed me that these aircrafts weren't carrying any weapon systems at all. They were equipped with extra gas tanks and specialized camera equipment to provide long-range reconnaissance intel. The aircrafts were identified as part of a strategic nuclear airstrike unit stationed near Moscow, which is 1,000 kilometers away. The flight path described a very low altitude, so only specialized military radar was even able to detect the intruders. This has never happened before in Sweden, not even during the Cold War. He also told me that this sort of reconnaissance is normally done by satellite imaging. There are only 2 possible reasons for this sort of recon operation. First one, they do not rely on satellite imaging for some reason. Second is that an attack is planned soon and they want to make sure it's as precise as possible. Now Sweden's military is on high alert, as in DEFCON 2. Now, there's more. Austria, the country he's from. I am a reserve officer with the Austrian Army. We had some training exercises last week, which are very common. They have nothing to do with the current situation. However, I picked up some very disturbing news that I want to share, and this is incredibly disturbing. In 1977, the armed forces built a 5-story high bunker complex 300 meters underground. 300 meters underground. That's a long way. Inside a mountain near Salzburg. However, it was built to withstand multiple nuclear detonations, and in case of an invasion, it would have been extremely hard to access this bunker for the enemy. Inside the bunker, there is enough space for 250 military personnel and leaders of the Austrian government. They're going to save themselves, guys. From inside, they have full control over the army and the air force, and they can govern the country. Anyway, everybody thought this bunker is an ill-forgotten relic of the Cold War. It is not. The facility was maintained during all these years, but the last 2 weeks, they started stocking up their supplies to an absolute maximum. Okay, are you with me? They started stocking up the supplies of their Cold War bunker to the absolute maximum. The Austrian chancellor and a few ministers disappeared for almost 2 days. It turned out they went to participate in an emergency evacuation drill. They were brought to a secret location outside Vienna where the army picked them up with a helicopter to fly them into the secret bunker. This was exactly during the time where a delegation of the German government was on a visit in Vienna. They also disappeared. What I'm trying to say is this, in bold and underlined letters. They are preparing for the absolute worst. They are preparing for the unspeakable. This is very, very serious. I hope I was able to provide you some information from the inside. Take care. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you very much, my friend. I greatly appreciate it. So I've got a lot more messages. We know that gas prices and oil prices are at record levels, through the roof. Imagine how bad it could get from here and how bad it will get from here. I have a firm belief that this war is going to drag on for a long, long time. And if the UN is able to pull NATO into this, then we're in big trouble because the nukes could start flying. And what's most terrifying to me is I've been doing even more research than I normally do. I mean, I've been living, breathing Ukraine, Russia, nuclear, this, that, EMP for the last 2 months. I am very concerned, as I have expressed on this channel many times in the last few weeks, that this prospect for a nuclear war is realer than a lot of people think. And having done some pretty aggressive research into the matter for the last 48 hours, I mean, I'm always researching it, but even more of a deep dive in the last 48 hours, there are a hell of a lot of people who think that this is maybe not winnable, but it's survivable. It's incredibly survivable. Would it be hell for the people who didn't have these government bunkers, which were outfitted with, 10 years worth of MREs? Yeah, it would be hell, but it's survivable. Okay. And how to survive it, I'm going to do a video on that next week because this is starting to get all too real and people need to be prepared for the absolute worst. I can't communicate enough how this message that this person sent me today has affected me. I'm not saying that I'm stopping my life in any way, shape, or form. I'm prepared as I'm going to be. I'm going to try to work around the clock to get people's orders out to them with the amount of supply gear that we have left. Oh, and that's another thing. I need to let you guys know that a lot of stuff comes from Russia. A lot of gas mask filters come from Russia. There is going to be a major, major shortage of gas mask filters, I'm guessing, in about a couple weeks, depending on how things go. Probably 2 to 4 weeks, there's going to be a major, major shortage. In fact, there's going to be some filters like the carbon monoxide filters. You're not going to get them anymore. You can't do business with Russia anymore. It's technically illegal in a lot of countries. I might even have to take Russian Bear tents off the website. That's how bad it's gone. Also, surplus ammunition, ammo is about to skyrocket. Okay, if you can go and pick up some ammo right now, I would encourage you to, because the prices of it, because of the lack of surplus ammo coming out of Russia. And see, that's one good thing about, the Russians. There's a lot of good things. Russians are good people, generally speaking. Okay, it's perhaps the leadership there that needs to work some things out. But they were supplying the rest of the world with a lot of the stuff that preppers like. And now that that's been cut off, it's going to take a while to get up to industrial production levels that we were at. It's going to take a long time, and it's probably never going to catch up because the government is buying all this stuff up, guys. And this is what you need to know, okay? That company that I talked about, they're not the only company. They're not the only contractor who's trying to source this stuff. They're trying to source stuff from everywhere. That is just a drop in the bucket, meaning that they are probably, when all said and done, accumulating millions of different types of personal protective equipment for millions of people. So, deadly serious. You need to prepare now. That's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Canadian Prepper out.